Good day, I'm Reynaldo Bautista Jr. from Lasallian University, Philippines, and I am excited to share with you my research paper entitled Green Behavior and Generation, a multi-group analysis using structural equation modeling, which was recently published in the Asia-Pacific Social Science Review. My main motivation for this paper is the current environmental issues that we face. I'm also interested to know whether generations X and Y can do something to address these issues.
An international study says that the Philippines is the third largest source of ocean pollution due to plastic waste that ends up in the rivers and the ocean. The country produces 2.7 million tons of plastic waste every year, and 20% of this leaks in the ocean.
In particular, I am comparing Generation X and Y in terms of their beliefs in green products and their green values. I am using the theory of planned behavior to test the differences between the two generations. I extended the theory of planned behavior and included beliefs in green products and green values. For H1, I hypothesized that beliefs in green products will positively influence attitude towards green behavior. It will also positively influence subjective norm and perceived behavioral control. On the other hand, green values will positively influence attitude towards green behavior. It will also influence subjective norm, at the same time perceived behavioral control. The three variables, attitude toward green behavior, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control, will eventually lead to intention to purchase green products. To test the proposed model, I employed survey method and I used partial least squares and structural equation modeling to test the different hypotheses. I also used t-test to compare the characteristics of generations X and Y, and I did correlations as a preliminary analysis of the relationship of the different variables. Results showed, both at the overall and generation level, that all predictors of intention to purchase green products, particularly belief, green values, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control are significant at alpha equals 0.05. On the other hand, while comparing Generation X and Y, they differ significantly in terms of belief, green values, perceived behavioral control, and subjective norm, while there is no significant difference between attitude and intention. In terms of perceived behavioral control, results imply that Generation X has more control to perform actual green behavior. This is consistent with other studies and could stem from the fact that Gen Y is not yet financially stable to afford environmental products. This is also supported by the profile of Generation Y respondents, wherein most of them belong to the less than 30,000 income or allowance bracket. Regarding attitude, there's no significant difference between the two groups. This finding is contrary to the earlier studies that younger individuals tend to know more and have a greater environmental awareness compared to older members of the population. A possible reason for this is the level of exposure to the environmental issues between the respondents of previous studies from this research. In a developing country like the Philippines, the younger generation has limited exposure to initiatives aimed at taking care of the environment. In terms of subjective norm, while there is a significant difference between the groups, Generation X has higher score compared to Gen Y. It was found that Gen X face higher social pressure to support green products. Concerning intention, results have shown that there is no significant difference between the two groups. That is, both generations have the same level of intention to purchase green products. Finally, on green values, Gen X registered higher index in terms of green values. It is interesting to note that the results of this study contradict the dominant literature that Generation Y care more about the environment. This could be attributed to the different economic and cultural orientation of the respondents compared to the preceding researches. This research contributes to the overall understanding of the effect of generational differences to green values and intention to purchase green products. The result interestingly showed that contrary to previous researches, Generation X has higher green values and subjective norm, suggesting that the older generation face higher pressure from their cohorts. These findings should also alert companies and marketing professionals alike that Generation Y, which is currently the dominant consumer in the market, has lower propensity to support green products. Initiatives to strengthen the green values of Generation Y should be undertaken, and making green products affordable to them is critical. Thank you so much for listening, and let me take this opportunity to invite everyone to publish in the Asia Pacific Social Science Review.